Hey guys, welcome to Talking Strongman. I'm very excited about today's guest, one of the absolute legends of strongman from the 90s, 7 times Austria's strongest man and world's strongest man, runner-up back in 1994, the one and only Manfred Hoeberl. Manfred, thank you for joining us from sunny Dubai.
Hi there, everybody. Nice to be invited. Nice talking to you.
How's things? You got the is that actually a real background behind you, or is it one of the screens?
No, there's one of the screens.
But
yeah,
I'm guessing
but,
it's pretty much looking like that in Dubai right now.
It's pretty much the view from my balcony. So yeah,
that's not too bad at all, then, is it?
Yeah, it's good. It's look, I'm not running away from things, but the COVID situation and all that made me decide to come here and spend more time here. Actually, spend time here now, living here.
So you're living in Dubai now. That's cool. When did you move over?
Well, just before Christmas.
Okay, so fairly recently.
Fairly recently, I came to visit again. I always had things to do here. As you know, the strongman is also something people enjoy doing here. And my history of strongman goes back to the 90s, during the first Middle East live coverage. So I always came and visited ever since. And well, now it's a good time to stay.
That's good. Do you stay involved in strongman then these days?
Well, not really. I watch it, and they contact me when there's events and things like that. But I personally, no, not anymore.
Okay, I just wonder, with you being out in Dubai, there's a strongman federation called World Ultimate Strongman, and they're based in Dubai. So I wondered if they'd approached you for anything.
Yeah, I know them, and we talk occasionally, but you know, my life has taken different roads, so everything has a time span, and I think mine with the strongman is history.
Do you still look back and with fond memories of your time in strongman?
Of course, I had good times. I mean,
I'm glad to hear it. I didn't want to take you back to the start of your strongman, and you'd be like, "Oh no, I hated that." So I'm glad you can still look back and enjoy it.
No, it was a great time.
So I want you to take us all back, because I mean, for someone like myself, the guys in the 90s, you, Gerrit Badenhorst, Magnus Magnussen, you know, Riku Kiri, you guys all had some brilliant battles. I used to love watching strongman back then. You know, it was the generation that really started to inspire myself to get into the sport. I tend to, with all these things, I like to find out what got you into training in the first place. Obviously, being from Austria, I should imagine a certain Mr. Schwarzenegger was quite an influence. But was it always about competing in strength, or was bodybuilding kind of your first love?
Bodybuilding was my first love, or my first introduction to the metal industry. And what actually happened, I did my education in Austria and went to South Africa then. And the social life in South Africa, for just arriving there, not knowing anybody, brought me to gyms, and spending time there and starting and enjoying working with the barbells got me fascinated and got me hooked. And I started with bodybuilding, and I did it for some while and found out it's not me. I wanted to measure real matters, not having a jury sitting in front of me, belly-butted jury, you know, that decides about whether your physique and your symmetries and everything concerning your body is right. So I decided, no, that's not me. Then I entered strongman, and I started that in South Africa, in fact. You know, and that's where I got to meet Gerrit and Wayne Bryce and all them, and we competed in the early days already.
Yeah, that's. I was just talking to Gerrit recently, so I know you guys had some brilliant battles. But I didn't realize you were actually out in South Africa. That's kind of where it all started for you.
Yeah, it all started.
How strongman now is very different. You know, now people just start they just want to be strongman. Back then, it wasn't easy to find strongman shows. So, how did you get introduced to strongman?
Well, the gym I worked out there in South Africa, the owner was very involved. I mean, it's a small community there, and South Africa had a strong standing those days with strongman. And knowing the South African basics and nature, it's based on strength. So, and surviving, you know, in all these challenges they face in life. So yeah, I got carried in, and I did my first very simple shows at the Rand Stadium, I remember, and it was, yeah, and I had my battles. That was great. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the challenge to go out and to face those contenders, and it was just nice. And it was non-violent sport, and you had to, you know, you had to show your strengths and weaknesses, and you had to face them actually yourself. The opponents were there, but the only opponent really was yourself.
That's interesting. That's something I always try and tell people to focus on, is just beating yourself, bettering yourself. Yeah. It's an important thing. But you beat a lot of good strongmen in your time. You know, I remember watching a lot of, I think, was it when you came second to Magnus? It was just like a split second on the Atlas stones.
Yeah, I wasn't, I was out bleeding there with the stones, and then I looked up and looked at him. What he was doing was stupid, you know. But and that split second, I lost. That's why, do your own thing and do it good, no matter what the others do. Do your own thing. That split second costed. Yeah, costed.
It's funny, we're talking to so many people. How many people he stopped winning a World's Strongest Man title? He was a great competitor. But you've won an awful lot of shows in your times, but particularly a lot of the one-day shows. I mean, for a while, you were arguably the best in the world at one stage. Would you say?
Well, I had 93, 94 before my car crash. I spent a lot of time just traveling from show to show, and I won all those muscle powers those days. And but the big ones, World's Strongest, were just missing. I mean, it's a fact.
World's Strongest Man is still the major show. It's I think there's so many shows now, but I think when you were competing, they did a lot. How many times a year would you compete?
About 40.
40. Jesus.
We were in Scotland. And if I add the Highland Games, I mean, we did some 3 Highland Games a week or something.
So that's like Highland Games, exhibitions, and Strongman.
Yeah, no, exhibitions on top of it. I mean, I did some exhibitions with some organizations here. I did over 100 shows. I was traveling.
That must have taken a hell of a toll on your body.
Yeah, I did. I mean, my body took it all.
Yeah, I think it would be crazy to try and do that many shows now, with you when you see how.
I don't know what. Honestly, I followed too little to say what's possible or not. Those days we had a lot of fun. We enjoyed what we were doing, and it was. I'm sure it was quite off the weights they're doing now. So it all comes down to. We enjoyed it. We were a group of strange characters that challenged each other in strength events, you know.
You really were.
It was quite different.
I always loved watching you guys. You just seem to have a lot of fun with it. You know, I think everyone, we're all men that want to win. There's no hiding. But it's a fun sport. You all tend to support each other, and then, you know, I'm sure you had some great stories and great nights out with a lot of these guys.
Oh, sure.
Maybe we'll keep those stories for behind the camera.
Yeah, I think some of them sure better to do.
But I want you to tell me about like your biggest rivals. Who really impressed you back then, when, you know, obviously Magnus and Gerrit Badenhorst, two of the greats of the sport. Have you got any sort of vivid memories of big battles you had with them?
Well, the biggest battle was losing to Magnus in that split second. I mean, I think this is historical, and there's nothing to add. This was our biggest battle we had, and we had other huge battles, but this was really, because we were that whole show in I think it was in Sun City in South Africa. Was a battle. It was up and down, forth and back, and then we were so close. I was leading up half a point. I was leading Magnus before the last event, so it was as close as it could be, you know. And the other events, I mean, all over, we did so many, and we had really, really good times. And I appreciate all the challenges we had with all my contestants. Really, I mean, it was just those days. And we could look each other into the eyes afterwards also. I mean, we were shouting, and we sometimes passed some ugly comments to each other, but it was in the heat of the challenge.
That's competition, isn't it? When we're all working hard to win, things can be said. But it's great that you guys all got on so well together. It's nice to hear. Obviously, 94, you come second. Was the plan to come back and try and win the next year?
Yeah, definitely.
You focused.
I was very focused. Yeah.
So unfortunately, you had a really bad car accident. Is that right?
Yeah, I had a car accident. I was coming back, I think, from the fever those days, and I fell asleep there. And, yeah, I had, my hips got quite badly damaged, but I recovered then, and then I went to Finland to do some events there, and then I tore my biceps. Then I decided to not do the world's strongest man, not to do the big shows anymore.
Okay.
I did competitions and smaller ones, and I did some shows, but that was it.
Yeah. Did something change with yourself, or was it just you couldn't get back to your best, or you kind of lost the love a little bit?
Well, a little bit of everything. And when you tear, you know, my assets was my huge arms, biceps, and everything. When you start tearing them, it becomes a knockdown, and it just happened out of nothing. I just picked up a log and went. So I didn't want to be torn apart totally. Then I just slowed down on everything, really. And well, we started with the federations globally, and I started producing events, and that's what brought me to Dubai as well.
You've been organizing events out in Dubai, or just?
Yeah, I organized like the Manfred Hoeberl Classics and those strength challenges. Yeah, which went from Vegas to here to Saalfelden in Austria. Yeah,
that's cool. It's nice to. I think it's nice to kind of keep involved. If it's a sport that you love, stay involved in some way. And you know, I think when you get injuries and it is hard to come back, because in the back of your head you're always trying to get back to your best, and that's a hard mental state to be in. And obviously you were known as having these ridiculously big, strong arms. It was, I mean, I don't know if it was true or not, but like they said, like you had the biggest arms in the world at one point.
Yeah, I think could be. You know, it's always the other people making something out of it. And at the Arnold Classic, at the first Arnold Classic, I think it was where they measured everything, and there are all stories going about and on, and whatever is real and what is not, whatever. You know, I'm living a healthy life now, and my arms are very healthy, and my whole body is in fact very healthy. So I can only say to the people they should live the healthy life and proceed that path.
You're still training hard now?
Nothing. I haven't touched the weight since I had my motor accident. I had a bike accident in 2002, which really took me out of my life. Since then, I haven't touched the weight because I couldn't walk for a long time. And then I was in my wheelchair. I lost from 135 to about 100 kilo. And then since then, I haven't touched the weight. No, but I'm feeling good.
So I bet that was quite a life-changing experience then for you.
Yes, it was, because there I lost, besides my health and all those businesses, I lost a lot of confidence and well, the training and the money and everything that goes with materialistic life. And took me, the transition time was about 10 years, when the doctor said you won't be able to walk properly again because the nerves are damaged. And well, I'm super fit now. I can walk and I do daily things, and I'm so blessed for that. And it changed my life into a way of going and taking more time for myself, like doing meditations and all that, going into that direction of life now, which is just as fulfilling, and it's more truth in it than in being in the outer world of running after weights.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, that's an inspirational story in itself. You know, your strongman was legendary, the things you did in that. But to go through such a horrific accident, I mean, you were paralyzed pretty much for.
Yeah, for about 2 years, and then the right leg didn't. I was on crutches for about 10 years, Now I'm perfectly fine, and it happened. I believe we have all the strength to help ourselves in us. All the cells have it, have the information. The key to it is to trigger it. So I do a lot of motivational work for people that are not so fortunate and maybe sometimes lose the path of life and get distracted with other things. So I help them to get back on track. That's, I think, my mission to life now, and my thankfulness to give back to life existence now. It's I'm just happy, and I'm happy to be what I am, and I'm happy to walk, and I'm happy to have, to smile, to wake up and have everything. And seeing here, being in Dubai, you know, it's only a few people that can really afford to live here. 98% are really poor supporters of this system. And to go out and bring some of them food, they live off maybe what, 50 euro a month. So, and to help some people, like, you know, to really, yeah, to go out and maybe even train or do something and live and have food. Yeah, that's inspirational for me. This is more than the facade of being in Dubai.
Yeah, sure. Obviously, you like Dubai. If you're out there at the moment, yeah. You like, is it just the sunshine that you like, or you like the kind of the lifestyle out there?
I like the sunshine. I mean, going back so long, many years to South Africa. I spent many summers or winters in South Africa, and I like to be in the sun. So now with the political situation in South Africa also being difficult, the crime and everything being so high, I like just to come to the sun, and it's, yeah. I'm a sunny boy. I like it. I like it. And I like to be on the beach. Yeah, I like to be out there, and I like to enjoy it. And I like to go skiing also, if possible. But go back for a week or two. It's fine.
Should you go back to Austria and spend time there?
Not now. I normally spend some weeks in January or whatever to go skiing, or February. And now this year, with all the COVID problem, I had my mother here to come with 85 years to come and visit in Dubai. You know, that's so cool. With all those restrictions and difficulties, I think it's nice. Sun is just nice, and warmth is nice. So.
At the moment, is it quite easy in Dubai? You can get around. There's no sort of big restrictions or anything. Yeah. That's cool. It's improving here, but we're still, as I currently do this interview, we're still in lockdown. So stuck in. I was in Bahrain last week, and it was just so nice to get some sunshine, get out of the house and travel. It was just for the mental health more than anything. I think that was where a lot of people are struggling right now. So it's nice to see you're trying to inspire that mental health, because obviously I should imagine with what you went through, it was very, very tough at one point.
It was, you know, going through it is always tough. Going through a training session in the gym is also tough. And going through life-threatening situations where I was, and then, you know, losing everything. I mean, how did I interpret it? Or how did I show myself? It was my mass, my muscles, all gone. You know, when you're a superstar and then you have to help somebody to help you in the toilet, it becomes a challenge, you know. So I had to learn my basics, and I'm glad I could, and I'm glad I was shown the other side of life. And I'm glad I know all this now, and and everything works out now. And there's no words really for real bliss and for real happiness. The thing is, we all get it. We just don't see it. We think we have to get faster, we have to get bigger, we have to do more, we have to get bigger arms. How unimportant that is in life.
You think sometimes we're all chasing things that aren't so important.
And and the thing is, you reach it, it's not enough. It's higher, faster, bigger. And that I was caught up so perfectly fine in this system. Now I live the moment, I enjoy the moment, and I'm happy for the moment. And I can only encourage everyone to do that. Give up that chase of happiness. You will never find it, because when you got it, it will run away again. So live now, live now, you know, live that happiness you have now and appreciate what you have.
I know there's a couple of people I'm friends with. I hope they watch this and take some advice, because it's, you know, I think especially in the gym and stuff like that with training and, you know, if you're into lifting weights, you're never happy. You sort of, you know, you hit a PB and then you're like, oh, that guy can do more. And then, you know, you're back down to, oh, I'm no good. Or you're always trying to do more when it comes to lifting. So sometimes it's good to just look back and enjoy where you've got to, and just enjoy the ride sometimes.
Yes, and it's the right, really, but it's with everything like that, you know. It is like not just with the gym, it is with relationships, it's with business, it's with friends. Why does things wear off? Because you're competing with each other. You invite somebody for dinner, then the next one needs to have a bigger dinner, and it needs to be impressive and more impressive. It's a never-ending story. Well, really, this is one big part I could learn, is be happy with what you have and live now, not in the past. The past is gone. Tomorrow will never come, because it's only now that is important. If you're not happy now, you will never be happy. And this is the thing. I wake up with a smile on my face. It's not about money. It's not about the sunshine. It's not about going into the sea or looking down the view. It is you, inner peace and happiness, you know, and waking up and looking ahead of what's got to come in the day, and get up and do your things. And that's what I really can encourage everyone, because I know what it means not being able to do that. I know what it means, depending on other people, to shovel you around, to do you and helping you. And while you can do things, and while you can smile, while you don't need much, do it and live, be yourself. You know, and not run after something that you will never achieve, never. Because when you're there, you don't know it's there. You don't see it. We don't see it. It's just normal. Well, I lived it. I win one after the other show. Oh, I have to win more. What for?
Yeah.
It's simple. Life is so simple. You know, let it be. Live the simple things.
Okay. No, it's a good a good philosophy for a lot of people. I think particularly this day and age where we're all trying to compete with everyone else. You're not really on social media, are you?
I moved away from all of those things. I have Facebook and all this, but I think it's a waste of time. I mean, people that want to talk to me can find me. I mean, you are the best example. So
it was harder, but I
no, I do motivational speaking too, and I'm a meditation teacher also. So so there are people that know me and find me if there's need for.
I guess it's just knowing where kind of people are at a certain stage in their life. Obviously, Strongman was a big part of your life, but you've moved on to new things. I'm gonna, like, before we go, I got to ask you, like, you because we've mentioned it already. You're so famous for those ridiculously big, strong arms. Did you have any particular routine that you did for your arm training?
Yeah, short and intense. I mean, I wrote that book those days, 10 Minutes to Massive Arms, and that wasn't a joke. It was like that. It's such a small muscle part, and you hit it, and in 10 minutes, if you, it isn't even 10 minutes, if you just add up that workout time, and then you leave it, because if you, and to do the right movements, you know, with your arms, so you must know your a bit of philosophy of the muscles and the physics of your body, and if you know how it's supposed to work, to do the movements right, and that's and genetics, sure,
Genetics are always important.
But I still give the occasional tips to some of the people here, because they keep nagging and asking.
Get a pump.
Yeah, get a pump. Yeah. So it gets you.
So okay, best bicep and best tricep exercise for people watching.
Best biceps is dumbbell curls, and triceps pull downs. I enjoyed those.
Okay.
You know, on the lat machine.
Yeah. They just for anyone that hasn't seen Manfred's arms, make sure you go back and watch when Manfred was doing a truck pull, like pulling on the rope. Just the arms were ridiculous. There's some brilliant pictures from when you were doing those. I think Yeah, I mean, I think you guys had some great physiques back then. Just thinking of some of the competitors, yourself, Gary Taylor, you competed with him.
Yeah,
Yeah, he was in great shape. You know, even
yeah,
like
great.
Magnus and Herrick Badenhorst. You know, maybe not
Wayne Price. Well,
Wayne
I mean,
Price.
no, yeah. I mean, Keely
Kiri
was
was a
the
monster.
monster. You know.
Yeah,
And then if you look at Goodmanson or so, I mean, they were all actually tough characters, massively, not really massive, but like
powerful
athlete,
looking and athletic.
powerful, like athletic type.
Yeah.
You know. So that changed a lot, I think.
It's kind of coming back to that style now. It's
Really?
yeah, for a while we were getting some guys that weighed 180, 200 kilos. You know, they were dominating. Now the guy that won this year, I don't know if you follow it now, Alexei Novikov, he's about 130, 135 kilos, really athletic, good strength, but fast as well, and can just do everything. It's kind of going back to being a strength athlete rather than just a static monster.
Yeah, I think we those days were the gladiators of strength athletics. You know, that's I actually called it that. It wasn't really strongman. Strongman to me is a little different meaning. I mean, if you go back to the ancient strongman, or you know, that was slightly different. What we did in the 90s was really combining strength, speed, overall surprise, even the way you can adopt a challenge. You know, we didn't have standardized tree trunks, or it was just cut off and then put handles on. You know, and
Yeah.
so you weren't really prepared for what was coming. It was interesting also.
I liked that about watching the old strongman. No one often knew what the events were. They didn't. I mean, now we all have equipment in our gyms to train on, and I know some of the guys started to focus on event training back then. But you could go to every competition and have different bits of kit. So it's becoming a lot more standardized now. But now there's shows putting on surprise events because they want to go back to, you know, what you guys had to do as well. So I think these things always go like in a full circle. You see it with training, you know, certain things kind of become a fad again, like kettlebells, for instance. You know, they were used hundreds of years ago and then they became popular, and you see these kind of circle of things happen. Just before I finish, have you got one place or one competition that really stands out, that was just a good memory for you, somewhere that you went to or that you competed? You know, what was the best memory for you with strongman?
Well, South Africa, obviously, the Sun City one was, but Peterhead in Scotland, where I won at Muscle Power in '94, I think. That was good memories also, because the people were so fantastic. I mean, in Scotland, I had great times, and with all the people. Maybe somebody will watch. Hi, everybody. You know, that was great. That was great that time, and I enjoyed every minute, no matter where we were. Actually, it's very difficult to favor places because all the people were very nice, and those times, it seems like the time was still okay. And people were happy, and we had no virus that was affecting us in such a way that it does now. And it was just happy. It was good, and all the places were great. No, really.
Yeah. One last thing. What was your favorite event to do? What was your favorite?
Oh, I actually enjoyed the overhead lift.
Yeah.
The log. I mean, I did in South Africa, I think at the Rancho. Those days, a world champion lift. Those days, I think it was 180 or so with the log. And I enjoyed that. I really did. Even having long arms and all that, but yeah, I enjoyed those.
I think I've seen some videos of you doing some impressive log lifting. And for those that don't know, I mean, you know, the log lift record now is at 228 kilos, and we've got a lot of guys doing over 200. But back then, no one was doing 180. You know, they were world record numbers, and no one had the equipment to train on either, did they?
Yeah, no, we didn't. I mean, they cut the log and they put something in there, and then it was unbalanced, or it was this and was that. Yeah, it was those days. You know, I mean, Formula One those days was different than it is today. So, yeah, I enjoyed it. It was great.
Brilliant. Manfred, it's been fantastic to talk to you. Thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it. I wish you all the best with everything, and take care.
Thank you for bringing back such great memories in life, and you go well. God bless, and hi to my friends and to everybody out there. Stay strong.
Brilliant. Guys, if you've got comments for Manfred, make sure you comment below. We'll be back with more Talking Strongman soon. While you're here, guys, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of my awesome strength content.